Sorry about my eye. I got something in my eye the other night. I've been washing it, rubbing it, and it's come out really bad today. I look like Quasimodo or something. Anyway, so I'd sort of do another spiel, a bit of a, make sure my volume's up. Bit of a spiel, bit of a talk, bit of a sesh, What's the volume like? Is there a volume meter? Microphone, no volume. Doesn't have volume. Input, volume, input, speakers, microphone. Oh, input volume, 94. Oh, that's probably alright. I could put it up a bit. Or maybe I should leave it. I'll put on 95. Just to be, perpendicular. Yeah, I was just thinking about space again and just dreaming about flying jets. And well, I feel like I went for a flight. I don't know if I did, but I feel I did some flips or something. Anyway, I don't know how all that works, but yeah, I was like dreaming I was driving a car and I was sort of turning the page. I was listening to Metallica, and one of their songs is "Turn the Page," and I feel like our universe did that at some point. It sort of asked me to grow to a certain size to sort of shear off a scab. All the like when I look at the universe, it's all pretty good. Like it's the way it should be. Sometimes things collide, comets and things, but that's all sort of meant to be. It's part of a healing process. When you see damage in the universe, it's actually healing. It's a comet will explode into a black hole to ignite a sun. Sort of like shearing off to start a spark to ignite a sun. That comet will have life in it, and that sun will birth life to a new solar system or planet or whatever. But with ours, there's so much damage in our whole region. The Andromeda Belt, which is what we sit in. That whole Andromeda Belt sheared off. As like it, sort of scabbed off, and left behind. I sort of grew up enough strength to sort of shear that off like a scab, and left behind a pure sort of solar system the way it should be. And the life all went from it. There's no life there now. All the animals left and everything. And we scabbed off because we're all sort of to blame for the damage that we've caused. And not just to blame, but a lot of us are doing hard work to fix it. Not so much to blame, but we're the workers to sort of fix it up. And all those to blame are sort of that are still here, that haven't been destroyed, are sort of here with the expectation from the rest of the world to help heal it up, this scab sort of thing. And eventually that whole scab sort of problem, whatever we've sheared off, will go back to where it was and the right way it should be, because it's all being corrupted. So the faster we can do that, fix up corruption, the quicker and more enjoyable the experience will be to heal up this sort of problem that's sheared off into this like Death Star. It's sort of like it's sheared off into a space like a ball, and from the outside it looks like Krypton. It's sort of white panels and like ice, or it sort of looks like that. The way it's sort of sheared out, it sort of comes out of a sort of a channel, and on the inside it's like a microcosm, like our world is trees and plants and animals and everything's in here safe. So it's kind of like an ark, I suppose, like the Lost Ark or something, sort of an Ark of the Covenant, Ark of whatever you want to call it. It's an ark that's come out, like an archangel or something, which is what I am. I'm an archangel. So I've arced that out of the world to to heal up this problem. I thought it was the easiest way to do it rather than risk human and animal life being destroyed. I was create this arc, sort of take it out of there and make like a Death Star. And well, I don't like the name Death Star. It's just because was what they called it in Star Wars. That's what it sort of looks like from the outside, like this. And the exertion of it coming out, it went so fast. It was like a spark going bang across to another part of space. It sort of got rejected from that good space right across space to a dark patch where there's nothing. So everything you can see up there is the Andromeda Belt. So everything visible. So that whole belt sheared off. So we're all inside this Death Star, and to us, this Death Star is enormous, but to the universe, it's a tiny speck of dust. It's tiny. So really, that little speck of dust is sheared off like that, like been flicked off, and hurtled through space at like something like, I think, about 1,000 times the speed of light. And it's slowing down as it's getting further out to space. It's like it gets a bit, like initially it sort of speeds up. It gets to a full velocity, 1,000, and then by the end of this year it will slow down. You get to about 100 times the speed of light. Then it'll just slow down and just stop in its new space where there's nothing around it. So it'll be out in the Kryptonian sort of field. Sort of becoming Krypton, planet Krypton. The whole thing will, the lights out there will go out, and eventually it'll be sort of like just this new sort of orb in the middle of nowhere. And so eventually all this inside will heal and learn how to, it will remember or relearn how to behave, because it's all like being punished in a way in this sort of Death Star, and if it doesn't do the right thing, well, it causes death. You probably die if you don't do the right thing. So a lot of people say, "Oh, that's normal, you just die." But for a long time, we didn't just die by the hands of others or we had rules where we kept alive for thousands of years, and that's the way it really should be. We shouldn't die so soon. Everyone complains about it, worries about it, is sick to death of it. But the way what we've done to the world, it shortened our lifespan by about down to about 10%. We should live for about 1,000 years, really, not just 100. So we sort of, and because of that, also we're getting 10% of our income. We're living 10% of our lifespan. We all become 10% of ourselves, 10% of the size of us. We should be all titans and gods and things, and so the world's sort of become 10%. So it's sheared off. And you can believe that or not, whatever makes you happy. If you feel frightened, don't worry about it. Just know what you know. But this is just my bit of information. So it's sort of like relearning how to behave, so we can go back and sort of rejoin where we were, because that's our sort of space, and we can eventually. We'll sort of leave here in the spaceships and sort of go back and start again as sort of like bedrock, like Flintstones, and all get along and not kill the dinosaurs, live in harmony with them. And that's what we've got to relearn, how to live in harmony with our natural world. We've really forgotten. We're isolating ourselves inside. We're making animals as pets. We keep them bound. They should be able to run free and come up to us and live their lives. They have families. They should be, with their families. And we've all done it. I've got my dog there. He's sitting sleeping. He shouldn't be sleeping. He should be out taking care of his children and looking after his partner. And it's what we should be doing. And we're not doing that for the sake of a few rich people who want everything. And unfortunately, the cost of that is to lose everything. So if you want everything, you lose everything, because it doesn't belong to you. Everything doesn't belong to one person. So yeah, you can blame me for doing all this, but I'm not to blame. I'm actually the cause of the cure. So I'm like the remedy. So maybe not my eye, but it had a bug or something when I woke up, like some electronic thing bugging my eye, and so I had to wash it out. So I don't like any foreign bodies in my body, just so you know. Anything foreign, I cough or I push or I get out of my body. I got something in my ball skin. I got to get out, like a little bit of metal or something. Got in my finger, and it burrowed in. It was like it was on little self control. Like I couldn't flick it out. It got in my skin, then just burrowed into my finger. Years ago, up in the Blue Mountains, and I think it's gone down to my ball sack or something, and sitting in the skin there. I want to get rid of it. It's like a little transmitter or something. But anyway, that's another story. That's just a little foreign body in my body. And I wish these people that make these things and do these things would just grow a brain and realize you're not supposed to violate other people. But anyway, that's a long story short. And I mean things weren't too bad up until about 1920s when a group of, I think it was Americans, sort of defied the laws of warfare and tortured people in America for entertainment, and I think they're Asian people, and I think a few of those have come back to try and make up for it, but I don't know if they're doing too well. But the others died, but I think these two that survived were young enough to come back. I won't mention names, but you probably know who it is. But I think they were young enough to come back and try and make amends, and I don't know, they're trying their best, but we'll see what happens, I guess. Yeah, you shouldn't commit crimes. It's just ruins the world, If you do commit crimes, the authorities should apprehend these people and punish them as soon as possible to teach them a lesson. So if they're not doing that, then they're committing a crime. They're not standing up for their job and role in society. So maybe all this is caused by that problem that I mentioned about that planet being exploded in Andromeda, but it's not really any excuse. You really should suffer to behave, I think if the worst comes to worst, you suffer to behave. You don't just go and hurt other people for the sake of your own enjoyment. I don't think, but anyway, you might disagree. I think the results speak for themselves. The world's in a catastrophic state, and if you look at it that way, we could be still living in the same sphere and really happily, and none of this might have happened. But anyway, take it or leave it. It's up to you. Just hopefully people learn a lesson just to really behave and you can have fun. Everything. Just don't try not to break the law. Sometimes it happens, but if we learn a lesson, maybe we don't need to be punished. But if we don't, well, we should apprehend people and help them understand you don't break the law because it hurts other people. It hurts yourself. There really is no need for hurt in the world. We could live in a beautiful world where there's no one really being hurt unnecessarily. Anyway, have a good day. Hopefully my eye heals up. It's just a bit milky. All the water I poured in it. See ya.